About 3 years ago, give or take, I was starting seminary up at Meadville Lombard in Chicago, and one of the things we had to do in our first year there was find a place to do community service. And I had this radical idea that I proposed to my school that I be allowed to go work with animals as my community service. And without exception, they paused briefly, but then they thought and said, well, yeah, that makes sense. We believe in the interconnected web of all existence. Why couldn't your community service be with animals instead of people? So I was the first one to try this, and I remember calling up Animal Harbor, which is in Belvedere, and if you don't know where that is, you go through Winchester and swing around to the south. It's in Franklin County, and they have a really nice in what they do, not nice structurally. You'll hear more about that in the presentation. But they are one of the few places that take in cats, amongst other things. You know, Coffee County doesn't take in stray cats at all. The animal shelter doesn't. And so they take in dogs and cats. They have very stringent guidelines on isolating them until they're vaccinated and then getting them up for adoption. And when I called up, I said, hey, I'm from a seminary. I need a place to do community service for a year. And you can almost hear on the other end, and so why are you calling us? But I actually had a fantastic experience there. They made me feel very welcome, and in turn I was able to do something I love, work with animals, meet my requirement for community service, gave a presentation on it, or created a presentation on it for the seminary, which opened it up to other people, because I did find out the next year someone else did the same sort of thing. And so now that is part of the accepted curriculum and practice for community service up at Meadville Lombard. All of this because of the good grace of Animal Harbor and the Franklin County Humane Society. Gail Castle is our speaker today. She's the development officer, and she's been doing it for almost 2 years. And without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to her. Gail.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me. I have...
See, I knew something was going to go wrong. I have no idea. There we go.
Okay. I have enjoyed my time so far being here. I've learned a little bit about your place and how old your place, your church here is. 55 years, I hear.
More.
Or more. That's pretty awesome. And I was admiring the quilt on the wall in the other room, and Doug helped me understand all the symbols. I would have failed that test. Anyway, so I've gotten to know the symbols a little bit, so maybe I could pass the test now. But so thank you for having me, and it's a joy to be here. Animal Harbor is 11 years. It's 11 years old. It was started in 2003. We can go to the next slide. And it started in an old hog auction barn. There was a group in Swanee called Sorrel, and they were rescuing animals, cats and dogs, and the Franklin County Humane Society. So we're also doing that work, and so they merged in 2003 at the barn. And this old hog auction barn has survived. We have survived it, I think is better to say, for 11 years. Next slide. We have a wonderful history. That was in 2010, and that was our 2000th adoption.
Oh, wow.
Since then, we have increased that to 3,500 since 2010. Okay, so we're at 3,500. Not you got it. Okay. Me and math, you know. So we're very, very proud of what we've been able to do out of this old hog auction barn. And we'll go to the next slide. And in this facility, We treat animals, cats, kittens, dogs, puppies. They come to us abandoned, they come to us sick, diseased. Some people throw them over the fence. So we are what we call a no-kill shelter, but really it's a myth that there is any shelter out there that is 100% never no-kill. Okay, because there are some times where we have to put an animal down because of a disease, an incurable disease, or they are not behaviorally, they're too aggressive, so they would never be adopted out, and we can't curb that behavior or change that behavior. And so in extreme situations, we do have to euthanize. Next. These are a couple of photos of just adoptions that we've done. One of the things that we are really happy about and continue to be a partner with PetSmart's charities, we have to be audited, we have to be inspected to be a partner with the rescue wagon. And that is continuing to be harder each year out of the hog barn, because we have to keep it a certain cleanliness, and in the barn it's very, very difficult to keep that clean, and I'll have some more slides in just a minute to show you why. Keep going there. These are the areas where the rescue wagon goes. Keep going. There's the rescue wagon. Every month, we put 20 to 25 puppies on the rescue wagon. So if you think about that, that's how many come to our shelter that need to be adopted, that we can put on the rescue wagon to send up north to be adopted. In the northern states, they follow all of their laws, and they have real strict laws, and that's why there's adoption waiting list for adoptions up north. So every time we put puppies on the rescue wagon, they're already adopted out because there's waiting lists for adoptions. We need to be that way here. That's going to be a while before we get there, because there's just some different understandings of how to be good stewards of our pets and animals here in the South as a whole, but I am focused on Franklin County and this region, neighboring counties. We just don't get it in terms of how to take good care and be good stewards of our animals. These are some of the puppies that have gone on the rescue wagon. Now, the cats don't get to go on the rescue wagon. I don't think there's that same situation for cats. Cats are a whole different situation. They populate so quickly. And I think, like Doug said, we are unique in that we do take in cats. We have a cat community room. We keep about 25 to 30 cats, can keep to 25 to 30 cats, depending on how many kittens we have. It's hard in the spring. We're getting lots of calls right now. We've got some kittens, we've got some kittens, we've gotten some kittens. If I were to be asked what's the biggest problem in our county and the surrounding counties, it's the overpopulation of cats. Because we have so many feral cat pockets in the counties that we just can't keep up with the problem. Keep going there. Okay, sometimes we take in other things than dogs and cats. We've had snakes, we've had rabbits, we've had birds. This is a ferret. We have a low-income spay and neuter program, and if you qualify for low income, you can come and sign up to have your cat or dog spay and neutered at a very low cost. So if you know anybody that could qualify, please have them call Animal Harbor. I know this is Coffee County, but Amber works the counties around Franklin County as well. If there are spay and neuters that haven't been taken by people in Franklin County, we can expand into the surrounding counties. Just pictures of our staff. This is us at a roadblock. We do a roadblock every year. We'll be doing one in May, and we raise money that way for our operating budget. This is a great story. This little gentleman here is blind, and he needed a companion, and so we are always wanting to match the right people with the right animal, and this was a success story here with this companion dog. Just pictures of, okay. These next pictures are going to show why we need a new facility. When I was contacted to take this job, I had no idea, really, no idea what I was getting myself into. And had never been to Animal Harbor. So, and I'm from Nashville, was born and raised there. And when I first went into Animal Harbor, I was shocked. I was really shocked at what they do in the facility they do it in. It is really rotting around them. It's falling in and around them. And it doesn't make any sense for the board of directors to continue to put resources and money into a facility that cannot ever be what it needs to be. It just didn't make any sense. And so what did make sense was to get out of the barn and into a stable facility so that resources can be used wisely. These are just pictures of the facility. You can see that there's no climate control in our dog kennel area. When it rains inside because the roof really needs to be replaced. And on an old hog auction barn, that is very, very expensive. Doesn't make any sense. Electrical, each day we all have positive thoughts to prayers and thoughts, and that nothing happens electrically to the barn because our electrical situation is really bad. Here's another picture just to show you that there's no climate control, no way to really heat and really cool the barn. In the winter, and this winter was one of the worst, Amber Kelly, who is our shelter manager, looked at me actually last night and said, "It's amazing we made it. It's amazing we made it through another winter, and especially this winter was the hardest. Our pipes freeze. They have to do a lot of work just to keep it going. They spend the majority of their time working on the facility to keep the facility clean enough to continue to be a PetSmart's charity partner, where they should be spending the majority of their time with the animals, getting them adopted. You see the problem? There's a concrete floor. Doug, you could probably remember this. Do you have any stories about this floor?
It's horribly grooved, and you have to spray it down with disinfectant, hose it down, scrub it, squeegee it, vacuum it up. I'd spend 4 hours just cleaning the floors.
Mm-hmm. So usually if there are 2 people, they usually spend anywhere from 4 to 5 hours a day. That's 7 days a week. 2 people, 4 to 5 hours a day. Just getting the floors clean. For us to be inspected, audited, and continue to be a PetSmart's charity partner.